So, I- yeah, thanks, Yashika, for starting the recording. Just 1 minute. Okay, excellent. So, welcome everyone to the final workshop for this course. Um, it is really excellent that everyone has submitted the assignment, whether individually or in groups. We sincerely hope that you have learned a lot during these 6 to 7 weeks, and you have now understood how to systematically diagnose, investigate your problems, supply chain problems, go to the root of those issues, and then, determine logical remedial actions, that addresses that root cause, so that those problems do not recur. For today's workshop, as we had said previously, we would like to present a bit of a summary of this course, and then we will give the floor to you to present your final assignments, and of course we will also try to comment on some of those assignments so that you have a better understanding of those issues. We had sent emails to all the individuals or the groups whose assignments that we had selected. I see some of them online, so we will ask them to present first, and then the other people, as soon as they come online, we will go to them. So let's begin today's workshop. As I said, we will discuss a bit of a course highlight, then we'll give you the final opportunity for a Q&A. We will discuss the assignment submission, and then finally, we will discuss how to complete the course, get the certificate, and next steps. Um, so, as you can see, there are all these 20 beautiful smiling pictures of you who have completed this course successfully and will be issued the CPD certificate. This course has been accredited by a global organization based out of UK, United Kingdom, and they have accredited this course to be a CPD course worth 24 points. So that certificate will be given to you, and you can use that certificate in your CVs, in your profiles, because that is a valuable milestone for all of you. So we congratulate each and every one of you, and this is great to see that all of you have taken this assignment seriously and completed the program. So congratulations to everyone.
This, for your information, and then prolonging what Sanjay said, the certification is very serious in the teaching industry, very serious. So take it seriously, and you will see that it's gonna value your experience, your resume, for the next job, for the current job. It's very serious. CPD is very serious. Over to
Yep.
you, Sanjay.
Thanks, Pierre. And also, what is also very exciting to see that group was a mix of, some of the senior professionals and some of the mid-level. I think there were a couple of young ones as well. And also in terms of gender mix, it's a very good gender mix. So I think that was also really good, and we would like to thank Mr. Abdul Aziz and the team for that as well. That a very good mix of professionals were identified for this course. So congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to the entire Yodma team. Now, as you can see, everyone has completed the course. Whoever has started, they have completed. In terms of participation in these workshops, there was about 78% participation, and there were a few discussions during the program, and we received 36 responses as well. It could have been a bit more, but anyways, this is what it is. In terms of the response, in terms of the experience, we have received 4.5 stars. Um as an average from 20 reviews. So which is great. We really appreciate that you have liked this course and you have given us a very high rating. In terms of fulfillment of the learning outcomes, all of you have felt that the course has effectively taught how to identify root causes and address them permanently. So that this is a very good statistics for us, which means that the way the course has been designed and the content of the course, it works. So this is a really good feedback from all of you, and we really appreciate uh, this statement. Second, we also had asked you whether the course was worth your time. So overall, the response is 100% yes. However, in some cases, you have said that few people said that they would have preferred more in-depth information, and we will look into it and see where we can add a bit more of information, that is required. One of the feedback, a very clear feedback that came was to have a workshop on decision tree, a very clear workshop on decision tree, which I think was there, but probably not to a level of depth which is expected, because that is an important topic. So I think what we will do is the way we will, modify this course based on your feedback is have workshop number 4 clearly focus on decision tree, so that anyone who does this course will not have a hard time in completing their assignment, because the assignment has a clear linkage with the decision tree matrix as well. Um, so yeah, so that is a brief overview of your experience coming from the feedback form that you have filled. We are still analyzing your pre and post questionnaires, but we feel that you have already demonstrated through your assignments that you have understood the concepts of root causing. You've understood the concept that sometimes these symptoms that we see are very superficial, and they have to be investigated to understand the deep seated problems and their causes, and the solution with the remedial actions that you design. They must be designed in a way to target those root causes rather than the superficial, symptoms, visible symptoms. So I think you have demonstrated that through your exercises and your assignments. But however, we will eventually analyze the pre and post questionnaires as well, and then if anything needed to be discussed, we will get back to you through emails. Now, at this point, I would give you a chance to think and ask any questions that you may have. And while you do that, I will ask Pierre to, share any particular thoughts that he may have. Pierre?
Okay, do you want me to start?
Yeah,
Um, so my thoughts, and I have a specific view here because um, I wrote the course, and with Sanjay we design it in such a way so that you participants will have a very specific intellectual journey. Not that root causing is not part of our life, generally speaking, professional life or personal life. Everybody is asking the same question from time to time. Oh, this is the symptom, this is not the root cause. But we wanted to strengthen that capacity that exists naturally to all of us. And we were very surprised with Sanjay to see how much you took this course seriously. And from the first evaluation and the first homework, we've seen you taking the habit to ask good questions, taking the habit to ask good questions through a very formal methodology. And this morning, when Sanjay and I we were checking your homework, your final homework, we've seen how much you you learn from it, and how different is your way of thinking now after 4 or 5 weeks. And we're very proud of you. And despite its full homework, so we see that remotely, but we hope that internally, you guys, you feel that there's a new way or a more formal way of approaching supply chain through the lens of symptom finding and then root causing and therefore finding remedial action. We've seen it, but remotely, and we hope that you actually feel it personally, and we would like you to share these kind of thoughts with us um, um, the way you want. And what is fascinating is for me and for Sanjay as conceptors of the course is that root causing could be a professional bias, but professional bias meaning that you're using every day. But in a personal life, it could influence personal life as well. And remember, and I will finish by that, is that the first evaluation, the pre-course evaluation, there was a question and say, your roof is leaking. It's dripping in the bathroom. What kind of options would you do? You put a bucket, you repaint from the interior, you you do nothing, or you replace the tile. And today, if you were asked the same questions, I think 100% of you will think about the root cause, which is the tile on the roof. So there's a new way for you to think, or more formal way, more systematic way of thinking about supply chain. Now you need to apply it for the benefit of the patients. It's time to implement it and then improve gradually, continuously. Over to you. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want to add something, Sanjay.
no, I'm okay. And thanks a lot, Pierre. And we open for any final questions, comments, remarks, whatever that you may want to discuss before we move on to individual or group presentations. So the floor is yours. Please, you can unmute yourself and you can speak for any question or a comment. Yes, Mr. Ilya.
Oh, okay. Uh, Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And on behalf of the agency, that is the executive secretary, and welcome everyone to this session. The executive secretary is on official engagement together with our director of sales and distribution and the director of finance. They are on national engagement, so they will not be able to join, or even if they join, their attention will be divided. So on behalf of the executive secretary, I want to extend his esteemed regard to the team and the participants. And you see, this exercise, in fact, it has really structured our thinking. Looking at the supply chain space, we're always operating, and then most of the times we'll be having problems. You know, in supply chain, there is the three P's. Whenever there are people, there are processes, then problem is inevitable. But then what we used to do most of the time is we just address the symptoms without digging down to the root cause. And with this course, I think now we will be addressing our problem through the root cause analysis. So on that note, I welcome everyone, and I want the participant to pay more attention to listen. And as I said, even on the platform, that listening the final aspect of this exercise is a prerequisite to the issuing of the certificate. So I urge everyone to listen attentively and for the final session of the program. So thank you very much, and once again, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ilya. Thank you for your kind words. Um, Anyone else would like to ask a question or have a comment or a remark at the end of this program?
You could share your experience of the course. You could share something you solved recently as an illustration, anything. It's the last time that, a little family or a little community of 20, 25 people spend 5 weeks together. Just say something for us, please. No time to be shy anymore.
Okay, okay, Ahmed,
Yes, good morning, everyone.
good morning.
I just want to ask one question for
Mhm.
the organizers of this program. I don't know if we can still get access after this uh, um, closure of the official closure of the program. I don't know if we can still have some access to some of the materials that are inside the portals.
I think yes. So we generally don't remove users once they have completed the course. So you should have access to the course materials on the platform. The videos which were recorded, they're already on YouTube. So you can always go on YouTube and access those workshops anytime. They are free to access. On the platform as well, like I said, you should have access. At least for the next because for now we the way we are going to launch this program, it should not revoke your access. But in any ways, if at any point in time while you are trying to access the course files on the platform and you face any problems, you can just reach out to us, and we will make sure you get those access again. Okay. Any other questions, or shall we move forward?
Sanjay, if nobody's um, ready to talk, I think we need to acknowledge Yashika, who
Yeah.
incredibly coordinated this cohort. And I think can we ask Yashika to be on video and then to talk to see, to for her to say how she managed all of us?
Yeah. Yashika, go ahead.
Yashika, if you want to be on video, and if you want to talk and say words to the participants.
Good morning, everybody. I hope I am audible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, since I'm also not from the industry, going through the entire course was also a learning for me. And I'm not sure if I can use it in supply chain, but root cause analysis as a concept, I also feel that I'm going to use in my everyday, life situations and problems. So that was a fun learning. Other than that, I also learned about community management, engagement, and I hope I was reachable or accessible to all of the participants here whenever they needed any sort of help. And eventually, also, please continue being associated with the platform. And if at all you need any sort of a support from our side, I'll be, my email ID, I'll be reachable to all of y'all. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and all the best.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much, Yashika. Yeah. Okay, so then let's move forward. So we have I see a few people who have confirmed their participation in the assignment. So I think Yashika, who's the first participant on the list? Should I just move?
Abubakar Ahmed.
Abu Bakr Ahmed. Is Abu Bakr Ahmed here? Yeah, I think he's here, right? Yeah, I think Abu Bakr Ahmed is here. Ahmed, would you like to begin your presentation?
Okay, okay. Good morning once again. I would like to start by asking us to look at the picture on our screen. I try to identify a problem here. This is a picture taken at the Central Medical Store here in Damaturu, Yobe State, Nigeria. The problems that that was identified here is cartons of medical supplies, which is placed directly on the floor, and some of the cartons of infusions there, the normal saline is directly touching the wall of the warehouse. This has shows an improper utilizations of the pallets, and of course the racking. We can see that some part of the pallet is empty, while some commodities were placed directly on the floor. And if you check the racking by the left side of the picture, you can see that there is an empty space where these cartons might has been placed on top of the racking system. So next slide. So by way of identify or analyzing this problem, I took the 5 whys analysis to identify the root cause of placing a cartons of medical supplies directly on the floor or touching the wall without proper pallet utilization or spacing. So the first why here is why are cartons placed directly on the floor or against the wall? The reason here I concluded that there are not enough pallets, or the existing ones are not being used properly. So by looking at the previous picture, it means that there was no, there was improper utilizations of the available pallet at the store or at the warehouse. The second why is why are pallets not used properly or insufficient? There is poor warehouse management practice or lack of planning in pallet allocations. If, of course, there is pallet allocation, there is no way we can have an empty pallet, but on ground and, of course, on the racking system, while some commodities are placed directly on the floor. The third why is there poor warehouse management or pallet planning? The staff are not. I concluded that there is inadequacy in training, or there is lack of SOP, that is standard operation procedure enforcement. The fourth why is why there are lack of SOP enforcement or training at the warehouse. The reason here is periodic supervisions and capacity building for warehouse staff is inadequate. The fifth why is why the supervisions or capacity building inadequate. There is limited institutional focus on continuous quality improvement in the warehouse operations. Next slide. So by way of summarizing the root cause analysis here, I concluded that the inadequate staff training and weak enforcement of warehouse SOP due to limited focus on continuous quality improvement and supervision. This has led to suboptimal use of pallets and poor stock arrangement and increased risks of product damage, which in the long run can contribute to high rate of expiries and regulatory non-compliance. So the second other thing is the analysis based on the decision matrix findings. So here I try to identify what could be the potential remedial actions to this problem. That is the problems of placing medical supplies directly on the floor. The first potential remedial action is the reorganizing the store layout with defined aisle and zones. The second order potential remedial action is the implementation of a bin location system with racking optimizations. If had it been we are optimizing the racking system optimizations, we shouldn't be having some commodities at the directly on the floor. And of course, staff training on inventory, standard operation procedure, and good storage practices. The fourth potential remedial actions is to introduce weekly warehouse keeping and compliance audit, like the enforcement of the was it 5S sorting and the rest. And of course, the issue of using Kamishibai metrics of auditing the inventory system. And of course, the last potential remedial actions is to develop and enforce an inbound to shelving workflow. That is the dock to ship. What that means is whenever there is a received commodities at the warehouse, immediately after the quarantine, it has to be taken directly to the ship, not to be put somewhere and at the end of the day, you start using it without proper inventory documentations and proper placement on where it is supposed to be placed. So the remedial actions that should not be considered here is expanding the store immediately without optimizing the existing space. The reason why we said this should not be considered is that this is financially burdensome and does not address the root cause. That is the layout misuse, the poor storage practices has not been addressed. The second other thing that should not be considered here is hiring more warehouse staff without process overhaul. This can increase human resource costs without solving the disorganization or space management in the warehouse. The third other thing that should not be considered in this problem is the immediate disposal or of stock to create more space for the ones that are placed on the floor. We said that this doesn't fix the real problem because the real problem of layout and inventory control system has not been addressed. So by way of pros and cons to address the five potential remedial actions here is for the first one, that is the reorganizations of the store layout with defined aisle and zones. The pros here is it will improve the access and of course the retrieval and safety of the commodities and the people that are working in the warehouse. And of course, it will align with the WHO standard for medicine storage, and staff can work more efficiently. The cons here for the first potential remedial action is the initial downtime during the reorganizations. And of course, the need for planning and coordinations. For the second the second potential remedial action, that is the implementation of bin location system with the racking optimization. This will enhance the stock traceability and of course the FIFO and FIFO compliance. FIFO is first to expire, first out, while the FIFO is first in, first out. The second order pros here is to ensure it will ensure accurate inventory audits and it will reduce staff workload over the time. The cons here is it will require proper bin coding and mapping, and it will require initial staff. There is going to be an initial staff resistance, or of course the learning curve. The staff might not have the requisite knowledge of the bin mapping, and of course the the understanding on how to optimize the available racks that are presently in the warehouse. For the third one, that has to do with inventory, SOP, and capacity building. Yes, for the pros, building the staff capacity and can instill discipline, and it will reduce the error and mishandling. The cons here is it may temporarily disrupt operations, but of course, it requires quality trainers and partners that may train the warehouse staff. The fourth potential remedial action, the pros under it is the which is talking about the weekly warehouse keeping and compliance audit. The pros here is it will prevent clutter from recurring, and of course it will support the audit readiness, and it will show leadership is proactive on safety. The cons here is it requires consistency and oversight, and it may require developing simple tools and forms. The last one, the issue of dock to shelf, it will reduce flow clutter, and it will, of course, speed up stock shelving, and it will reduce product loss or damages due to late shelving. Keeping products of quarantine and usable stock separated. This is what the dock to shelf is all about. The cons here, it may require process documentations and initial resistance from warehouse team, just like the second cons that has to do with racking optimization. So next slide. So the optimal remedial actions for this problem is the implementing warehouse reorganization with build location, and of course, enforcement for the utilization of racks and shelf at the warehouse, and of course, to introducing the standard operating procedure for inventory handling and training of warehouse staff on inventory zoning and FIFO or FIFO best practices will address the higher percentage or the most of the problem that has been observed on the picture in the first slide. Next. So the recommendations and the next step here is for the warehouse to introduce SOP for inventory handling, and of course to strengthen supervision and staff engagement. Building the capacity of the staff that will be managing the inventory at the warehouse is very key to take care of some of these problems. Next slide. So the key takeaways here is racking alone, as we can see at the picture, racking alone doesn't guarantee organization. The system behind its use matters more. That is the people behind or the people working at the warehouse matters a lot. If you have the racking, you have all the materials, and the people that are working there has no requisite knowledge to handle some of these materials. So it means it might not work. Structured inventory zoning, that is the ADC classification and many more, will promote efficiency and drug integrity. Cluttered floors are not just untidy, they are dangerous to inefficient, and it may be costly to the people that has those commodities. So the behavior change, that is the training and the standard operating procedure, is just as critical as infrastructure. So by way of concluding, I will say that periodic self-assessment using tools like decision metrics can help plug deeper operational bottleneck early at the warehouses where we have most of these supply chain operations. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to make my presentations this morning. Thank you, and over.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ahmed, and well done. This is a really good example of how to use these approaches. I have one question for you. Ahmed, you mentioned in the beginning that this image has been taken from a central medical school. Just wanted to ask if this is a recent picture or this picture was taken a while back, and then if you have used it now. The reason why I'm asking this is because if this is a recent picture that you have taken, do you think the the remedial actions that you have created can they be implemented in reality in that warehouse? Over to you, Ahmed.
Yes, this picture was taken during the course of the formation of my presentations. That
Okay.
means it was taken just 3 weeks ago. And
Okay.
most of these recommendations that I made were just the warehouse already have an SOP. The only thing is just to implement one. The issue of the engagement, the supervisions is where the top management will come in and ensure that there is regular warehouse visits to ensure that this SOP are being implemented at the warehouse. So if by way of going for supervisions regularly, if they realize that there is gap in implementing the SOPs, it means that there is need for the management to step up and train the staff on the best practices, warehouse best practices, based on the SOP that was developed for the warehouse. So I think the recommendations are not cumbersome enough to say that cannot be are not implementable. I think they are all implementable. Thank you.
Ahmed, do you think you can create a one-page document with this slide, which we can share with your executive leadership to show how, based on this course, all of you have come up with some of the real solutions that can be implemented in the warehouses, and then maybe this can actually happen. I mean, we can also drive the change from up top, and then through this you can also train some people at the warehouse, and maybe they can fix the problem. Do you think you can develop a one page document which we can then also share with your leadership?
Okay. I will try and do that, and I will
Okay.
share with if there is need for you to guide on how
Yeah.
you want the wording to flow. I
Sure.
can reach
Sure. Okay. Yashika, please make note, and then we will support Ahmed in writing that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Ahmed, this was excellent. Before we move forward, I just want to ask if anyone has any questions for Ahmed based on the presentation that he made. And then Pierre, if you have any
Yes,
questions.
I do.
Let's just keep it to minimum so that we have enough time for the next presenters as well. Pierre?
Any commenters before I intervene? You colleagues, you must have seen the same situation, or you could complement what Mr. Ahmed said. Anybody?
Okay, maybe here you can ask your question.
Okay. So, Mr. Ahmed, very good. I found it very detailed, very professional. You go into the nitty-gritty and you offer solutions. and you analyze its solution. Very good. Very, very good. I was very impressed. So that means you took the course inside out and then you use it. Impeccable. Very good. Now, in terms of recommendation, in terms of analysis, if there is a stacking in the middle of the alley, it could be as well people didn't have time to put away on the shelves. And you didn't explore that possibility. Now, the fact that you said, well, SOP are not fully respected, or maybe there's gaps in the SOP that doesn't tackle these kind of things, there's no supervision, we'll take care of it. But I think for me, when I see this picture, I say, did the guys had enough time to put away? Okay, Dorothy, let me finish, Dorothy, and then after that, I pass on to you. So that's one thing. The other thing is in the remedial actions, you could have sorted short terms and good long terms or medium terms, because some of them are nitty-gritty that should happen and could be short term and solve it, but medium term, such as a bin location software implemented is systemic, and it's medium term, a bigger project. So you could have sorted that and say, well, I do the entire thing, but all of them should be implemented, and some they will all start at the same time, but some will be will end up very shortly because it's easy to implement, and the other one is more comprehensive. But very good overall. Congratulations. Over to you, Dorothy.
Okay, based on this picture, it may not necessarily be a received item. I think, is picked item for the zonal warehouse that has not yet been sent to the zones. So I don't think it's an issue about receiving but I just wanted to make it clear that these items were supposed to be sent to the zonal hub, but the day it was picked, it was not the transportation unit was not fully prepared to send the item to zonal hub. So I think that's what really happened, but it's not received item.
Okay, so that changes a little bit. Actually, more than a little bit. It's not receiving problem. It's probably a shipping problem, picking and packing problem. So it
picking
moves.
And packing has been done, but the transport units were not prepared for the transfer for
loading,
distributing the commodities, loading and distributing to the zonal hub. Yeah.
So that changes a little bit. I mean, not a little bit, more than a little bit. The analysis is that it's more a picking problem and loading and packing and loading.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, I think it is very difficult to understand in this picture whether the picking has been done, because even if it has been picked, it has not been arranged in a way to make it ready for loading. Because when you pick products to pack and organize them for loading, it has to be made, that consignment has to look like a consignment, or that those boxes which are supposed to be then loaded, either it should be properly marked. Because I see on the back end of the picture, there are lots of cartons which are not organized very properly. They are like almost they're going to fall off. So it could be a picking problem, it could be a packing problem, or if this is a receiving and put away problem, again it's a bit difficult to know. But we hear your point, Dorothy. I mean, it's very difficult sometimes from a picture to see what is happening. The context is can be known better by the people who are there. Anything you want to
But
add something else,
I
Dorothy?
think there's an agreement that
Hello.
boxes should not stay in the alleys because it's block the entire logistics.
Yeah.
So it should be put away and on the shelves, which is a receiving problem. The root cause might be within receiving. Now, if it's not about receiving, but picking and packing, then these cartons should move from the alley to the packing area in
Packing
front
area,
of
yes.
the loading door. Over
Yeah.
to you.
Dorothy?
Thank you very much. Good morning once again.
Yep.
Yeah. To me, this is a problem because looking at the nature of the store and even the racking, and you can see a halfway pallet and even the cartons of IV infusion by the back. So now, if somebody comes in for, like me now, I know what has happened, and as stated by the inventory manager, is during picking. But on ideal situation, even if items were picked, they are not supposed to be here. There should be a dispatch area or loading bay where whosoever that comes in can be able to identify these items will be on transit. But then here you can see is the store and items are arranged inside. And so whosoever, for instance, if a stranger or new person enters the warehouse, that is how he will define it. And I know we are having space constraints, and that is the reason behind keeping them, which later on will be distributed to the zonal hubs. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Ilya. Dorothy, you want to add something else?
I think the deputy director has clearly stated the issues that we have. We don't have a specific area. We don't have a we have space constraint. So those are the major, because items are not supposed to be kept on the, we were not even supposed to have pallets on the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But all our alleys have pallets where we keep items, which is wrong in the first place. But because of the space constraint, that's why we have them there. So it's then the picking the items for the zones. When we are picking for the zones, we still have to verify them outside of the warehouse before packing them, before loading them. So it still has to undergo another process. If we arrange them after picking and packing, then we go outside and still arrange it again. It's double work.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Before I talk about a few things, Ahmed, maybe you want to comment because the situation that you have shown, it seems the situation is slightly different. So there is a discrepancy in the situation as well,
Disconnect.
maybe disconnect. So maybe you want to also clarify. Go for it.
Thank you very much, everyone, for your comments. If we can see the picture here, I tried to snap like 6 pictures while at the warehouse, and whether it is a picked item or the item that is just coming to the warehouse, I think there is a problem. So that is the reason why part of the potential recommendations or the remedial actions is the warehouse.
Oops, Mr. Ahmed, we lost you.
What that means is we are trying to see that for the receiving item, there is a receiving area. For the issuing item, there is a dispatching area. And of course, it is not supposed to be at that place. So I took myself as a layman that just entered into the warehouse and just snapped the picture for the real time problem that I can see in the warehouse and identify.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
Thank you
hope
so much, Ahmed.
yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think the one of the optimal remedial action here, which has been listed, I think should work whichever is the scenario. That is
Yes.
the reorganization of the layout and creating a proper shelf utilization and SOP for inventory handling. So if we properly reorganize the layout of the warehouse, we may be able to find a location where you can keep your picked items, which are being made ready for dispatch. Of course, that would mean that the warehouse may have to be closed for a few days while this reorganization is happening. But of course, the planning and layout can happen first, and then the reorganization can also happen in some phases. But this is something very, very useful for you to discuss and deliberate, because uh, you have two options. Option number one is you keep this current layout and you struggle every day. That is your option number one. Option number two is you think about this remedial action, about reorganization of the layout, work together, and maybe struggle probably for a month while the reorganization is taking place. Now, that is totally your call. You want to struggle every month, or you only want to struggle for a month, and then probably it becomes a bit more easier. And this is a call that, as a team, as your leadership, you all can take, because as Dorothy mentioned, as Mr. Ilya mentioned, this is a real problem and you're facing it every day. And if you and also if you uh, you know make these changes after struggling for a month or so, you will also see that your warehouse becomes compliant to the national and international guidelines as well. So right now you are not compliant, you are struggling, and you're struggling every day. So maybe a good strategy is, let's figure it out. Maybe we struggle a bit more for the next month or so, but then we struggle less and we become more compliant. That is a food for thought for everyone. Here, over to you.
Look, guys, I'm so enjoying the discussion. You know why? Because somebody, Mr. Ahmed, worked on a setting that is from a picture, and then Dorothy brought in and say, actually, the discussion was about receiving, but my experience is that it's not about receiving, it's about and putting away. It's about picking and packing. And here I go back 2 steps and I say, remember the whys. There's a symptom. Everybody agree on the symptoms. We have commonly identified the symptoms. But what we're talking is the branching of the whys. And Mr. Ahmed has a branch that is probably left, and Dorothy has a branch that is right, on the right side of the whys, and we come up with different remedial action. This is brilliant. This is an illustration of how powerful is the methodology and how it brings people contradicting each other to come up with the good solutions that will solve the symptoms. Very good. Again, going back to the idea that root causing is an intellectual journey and there's a debate, pros and cons, yes or no. I believe more on the right side. I believe more on the left side. Very good. We are on the path. Excellent. That's my contribution to the debate. But I just love it. This is exactly what Sanjay and I intended to bring you, is that it's a teamwork. There's going to be debates. There's a formal template that brings debates. And as a team, you will solve it powerfully. And you will present it to executive and say, we certain that's going to have an impact. You implement it, it has an impact. Over to you, Sanjay.
Yep. Thanks, Pierre. And of course, we can't solve the problem today. So this is now up to you to keep on discussing and come up with the solution. But what we want to do is go to the next candidate, who is Mr. Muhammad Usman. I think he's here with us today. So, Mr. Usman, we invite you to present your assignment. Um,
But
uh,
congratulations to Mr. Ahmed and Madam Dorothy.
yes,
Very good. Very good.
absolutely. Mr. Usman, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, it's
Yes,
a go.
sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, okay, let me, okay. I want to hide that thing I'm not seeing. Let me hide this. Uh-huh. So my own is my own problem statement is that, and then sorry for not putting the picture, because my own is supplier delivery, delay in supplier deliveries that we are having in the warehouse. So I don't know whether the picture of a
Can
car
you?
coming or disruption.
That's okay.
So
That's
yeah,
okay.
that's great.
Can you at least mention whether this is a current real problem or this is something that you experienced in the past?
No, like, yeah, up to now we are experiencing this delay. Actually, this
Okay.
problem we are still experiencing in the
Okay.
in your actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Carry on. It's
problems.
okay. We don't have a picture. Just carry on. Thank you.
Okay, so the problem statement is that frequent delay in supplier deliveries have been disrupting warehouse operations. So what impact does this problem have on operations, efficiency, or service delivery? So it used to increase our lead time and stock out. When the lead time increases, definitely the stock out will increase, and then delay order fulfillment to customers. And then, sometimes they come and then they will just find 7 items out of 10 or 30 items out of 40, and then loss of customer trust and satisfaction. So if you come today and then, hello?
Yeah, yeah. Go on.
Then the 5 whys. Yeah, we are done with this. I know it's clear to everyone, lots of customers. And then I use 5 whys to analyze the root cause of that frequent delay. So the first, why are suppliers not meeting the agreed delivery schedule or the delivery lead time? Because they are experiencing delay from their own upstream suppliers. So why was that? Is because they are experiencing delay in receiving raw materials from their own upstream suppliers. And then why is it that they don't have a buffer stock or alternative sourcing? Uh, because our procurement team does not monitor suppliers inventory strategy. Okay, why? Because there is no supplier performance monitoring system in place, actually. So next slide. Okay, so these are the 5 whys method that we use in sequence. And then the root cause is, the root cause is lack of supplier performance monitoring system to identify and address upstream risks in the supply chain. Next slide. Okay, so this is decision tree matrix findings based on what I have said earlier. So what could be the potential remedial action to this problem root cause? One, implement a supplier performance monitoring system. While two, introduce a supplier scorecard with a regular monthly review. While three, train procurement staff and supplier risk assessment techniques. Fourth one is establish alternative sourcing strategy. And five, integrate supplier performance metrics into supplier contract. Okay, and then what remedial action should not be considered? Okay, stockpile excessive inventory. Why? Because it increase holding costs and it will not address the real issue. Switch suppliers immediately. So it will be a time consuming and may introduce new risks without solving the monitoring gaps. Then increase supplier communication frequently only. So it may help, but insufficient. It may help, but insufficiently without the database monitoring tools. Okay, so the pros and cons for each of the five identify potential remedial actions. That is for the operational, finance, human resource, political, etc. So for the first one, implement a supplier performance monitoring system. Pros, yeah, it will improve the long-term visibility. It will enable early detection of supplier issues and then support data-driven decisions. While the cons, it requires upfront investment and may need system integration with existing tools. Then training may be necessary. While for the second one, introduce a supplier scorecard with regular monthly review. It is low cost and easy to implement. It encourages supplier accountability and then build performance awareness. While the cons relies on manual tracking or less automated, may not capture real-time issues and then time consuming for staff. While the third one, train procurement staff in supplier risk assessment techniques, the pros enhance team capacity, build proactive risk management culture, cost effective, compared to tech solutions. What I like the cons may take time to change behaviors and then result depend on consistent application, does not guarantee tracking or reporting. While the fourth one is establish alternative sourcing strategy, the pros is reduce dependency on a single supplier, and it will increase supply chain resilience during disruption, and then allows for competitive pricing through supplier comparison. While the cons require additional supplier vetting and contracting time, may lead to fragmented supplier relationship, and then complex to manage multiple supplier logistics. While the fifth one is integrate supplier performance metric into supplier contract.
Oops. There's some
Sorry for the
discussion in your office.
disruption. Yeah, sorry for the disruption. Uh, encourage accountability through contractual obligations, and then create measurable expectation from the.
Yes.
So
Your office.
easier to enforce corrective actions if targets are missed. And then the cons is may discourage smaller supplier from participating, and then require legal and procurement team alignment, and then contract changes may take time to negotiate and finalize. Next slide.
Next slide. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Usman, you are muted.
Yeah, I think there's some disturbance in his office.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, very good.
Okay, I said based on the remedial actions I stated earlier, so my recommendation is implement a supplier performance monitoring system. Why? Because is directly address the root cause, and it enable early detection of supplier risks, and it promotes data-driven proactive decisions, and then it supports long-term supply chain resilience. Next. Okay, recommendation and next steps. Okay. Hello, I said,
Yeah, we can
obtain
hear you.
management approval and allocation budget. Obtain management approval and allocation budget. Okay, it means that present your solution to the management and get their support, both in principle and financially. So why is that matters is because without the budget or the executive backing, it is unlikely the change will be implemented or sustained, actually. So the second is the train the procurement team to use the new system. Okay, and the third, integrate with the existing Yodma inventory tools. So we already have our tools. So to ensure that new system works seamlessly with our current MIT, that is the Yodma inventory tools, so that you can avoid data silos and inefficiency. Okay, and then integration will reduce the manual work and improve the flow of the accurate real-time information across the system, and then define the KPIs and performance metrics so that we can measure and manage the KPI so that it can allow us for the objective monitoring and continuous improvement. Then the final one is get supplier buy-in and set expectation for data sharing. So by engaging supplier in the process, it will make them aware of the new system and what data they need to provide actually. So the next slides. Okay. The reflection and the key takeaways, actually. So the root cause analysis helps uncover underlying issues, not just the symptoms. And then the supplier performance affect downstream reliability. And the monitoring system promote transparency, accountability, and resilience. Sustainable improvements require cross-functional collaboration and ongoing evaluation. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Usman. This was a slightly different set of problems, analysis, and recommendations. So before I comment anything, I would like to invite some of your team members for any questions or comments that they may have. Because I believe this is a real problem. So maybe there are other members of the team who may have had some experience with suppliers. So please, if you have any questions for Mr. Usman or any comments that you want to make, please go ahead. Anyone?
Hello? Am I
Yes.
audible?
Yeah. But there is some echo. I think there is another
Please,
device.
can you take me back to the first slide that talked about the problem statement?
Yeah. Yeah. Here we are.
Okay,
Yeah, Mr.
next
Ali?
please.
Yeah.
In the 5 whys, I don't know if my memory didn't betray me. You said that we don't have supplier performance monitoring system in place. And I believe part of the things we are tracking, we have KPIs that are tracking the performance, and part of it even is the supplier lead time. So I don't know, and if that's specific to some suppliers, because in the second one, you are talking about the suppliers are experiencing delays also in receiving raw materials, and part of our suppliers, I think up to like 40% of our suppliers are not manufacturers themselves. I don't know how that captures the delays, or do we experience only the delays only from the manufacturers? Please, I need a more clarification on that. Thank you.
Okay,
Usman?
okay. Thank you for the questions. Yes,
Yeah.
so now we are talking about the manufacturers actually. And then if you can look at our SKUs, so almost, let's say almost 90%, 90% of the essential drugs that we are using are coming from our MOU manufacturers, our local manufacturers, I mean, actually. So, any disruption from that essential, it will disrupt our operations. So, and let me just give you example for the to help, they will say that, okay, they are in production. but they are having delay in for the sourcing of the raw materials. That is why the products are not being produced on time and so on and so forth. So for the tracking performance, yeah, that is why my suggestion is that we should integrate the tools that we are using. One, because our own, I can just say like it is manually. So we want to integrate it with the current Yodma IMT tools that we are using so that it can give us, we can be tracking the real time, and then it can give us um, uh, what for the data collections. Yeah. So, and then I don't know. Yeah. For this, I think I answer your question, right?
I hope so. And another thing is in your fifth Y, I think. I cannot see it. The fifth one, you mentioned something about like we don't have performance tracking system, and the solutions that you propose is to implement that system. I think we have to develop the system first if we don't have before we move to implementation.
Yes. That is what for us to develop the system, it's easy for you to develop the system, but the integration and the sustainability of the system.
Okay, so I think what Mr. Ali is mentioning is not just implement, but first develop it thoroughly and then implement. So I think I mean, I believe in your statement it is implied that it has to be developed, but Mr. Ali wants it to be more specific, saying that let us develop the system and then implement it. Mr. Ali, I believe that is what you're saying, right? Uh, Mr. Ali Abubakar, can you confirm?
Yeah, the network is fluctuating.
Yes,
Okay.
that's clear.
Okay, excellent. So that's just, I mean, I believe it was implied in this statement, but to be more specific, develop and then implement the supplier system, performance system. There was a hand raised by Mr. Ahmed, and then there was a hand raised from Mr. Yahya. So, Ahmed, do you want to speak first, or your question has been answered already?
Yes, my questions, some of the questions have been asked by pharmacist Abubakar Ali Gadaka. The issue of
Okay.
saying in the previous slide is saying that we lack the supplier performance, and in the subsequent slide he is saying that we should implement. I align myself with pharmacist Gadaka on the issue of has to be developed first, since you said in the previous ones but we don't have. The first, the other thing is the issue of the 5 Ys. I don't know whether it is solely me that I cannot see the questions. I can only see the reasons why he asked the questions on the 5 Ys.
Yes, 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 you are right, because I sent the wrong slide. Actually, I'm sorry. So the updated one, that is why I used the updated one during the presentation. Even me, I'm confused that I didn't even see the question. So I'm sorry for that. I will send the corrected copy. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I think there's a question from Yahya, Mr. Yahya, I think. Please, if you can ask your question. You are muted. Can you unmute yourself, Yahya, and then ask your question?
Okay, good day, everyone. So,
Good day.
I have a question on this 5 Ys analysis. So, my question goes like this. The second reason, it stated that suppliers are not meeting up the expected timing for the supply. Just like it's been stated, like because they are experiencing delays in receiving raw materials from their own upstream suppliers. So my question is that why is it that why confine the problem to the only supplier's perspective, not considering the perspective of the actual where the problem arises? Because like we are just hearing the supplier's perspective, maybe you just give them much benefit of doubt that they are actually experiencing delay from their own angle. Why is it that we confine that problem to them only and then we give them benefit of doubt? Because I don't believe that hearing only from them and believing in what they will actually lead to actual solution for this problem.
Okay, are you done with the question?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what we are saying is that procurement has have already prepared the contract award. They have already awarded the contract to the suppliers. So that means the problem now is not from the Yodma procurement team, because they have already awarded the contract on time. One, okay, they are waiting to receive the commodities. They are waiting to receive the products, and then the product did not come on time. Why? It's because of the supplier. So now it's a supplier's issue, not the UEDMA procurement team issues. So when we contacted the suppliers, why are you not delivering on time? So these are the statements. These are some of their issues. I don't know whether you get the points. That is why we focus on the suppliers. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, it's not about the entire process that, okay, what do you call it? The entire process from the requisition to delivery. We are talking about the after award of contracts, the lead time given for the suppliers to deliver. I don't know whether I make myself clear.
Okay. I got your point actually.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Pierre,
Thank you.
your question?
So again, very good example, very thorough root causing. Congratulations. I like, for myself, I like very much the fact that you try to go into the operations of the suppliers to rule out that it could be custom clearance that is messing the time of delivery. And if it's the custom clearance, then you see how the branching is different in the tree. Here you say, no, it's about the suppliers. They claim that it's about their manufacturing process. And you're right to say it's probably because we don't make them accountable. You say that it's going to be delivered on Monday, and we, the central warehouse, need to receive and allocate time for Monday. If you miss that window, you should be penalized. You're correct in that. Remember that you are the customers. You don't have to accommodate the supplier's changes. You might not have. And that's your choice to say, I'm sorry, I'm the client. You respect my will because it's written. And you could be very strong. You could be accommodating. That's up to you. But often suppliers will less likely accommodate and communicate changes if actually you don't penalize them. There's a need to make them accountable. And what I understand from your suggestion is, so far we've not been very good at monitoring their performance, and therefore I make them accountable. We should be stronger at that. If we get stronger, then they will respect us. It's normal in the negotiation, and that's the role of a procurement department within the central procuring and warehousing agency. So I like very much what you're suggesting. I would say 1.1 and 1.2 for me is the same. Supplier performance monitoring system, which might include or not include a scorecard. Scorecard is better. And that might or might not include regular monthly review. For me, is the same. Now, if you implement a supplier performance monitoring system, then of course you need to train procurement staff. So 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3, for me, is inclusive. It's just a little bit subcomponents. And you could have 1.4, that is alternative sourcing strategy. I worked for Canada, and we said, if you stock out, you Pfizer, then you will have, for more than 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, then you will have to purchase from your competitor and send it to us, no cost. You will feel the pain. That's normal strategic sourcing strategies. That's normal. And of course, 1.5 for me is integrated into 1.5 is integrated in 1.1. If you have a supplier performance monitoring system, then you integrate it in the performance metric in the supplier's contract. They feel the pain if they miss. So for me, actually in the 1.1 is integrated into 1.2, in 1.3 and 1.5. So actually there's really only 2 alternatives here. Over to you. But again, this is a very good example. You did a very good job and you suggested lots of good things. Congratulations. Over to you, Sanjay.
Yep. Thank you, Pierre, and thank you, Mr. Usman. Some food for thought for you, Mr. Usman. But yes, I agree that the problem is real, and not just you. I mean, this is almost everywhere. You also specifically mentioned that this is a problem very specific to the local manufacturers. So I believe there can be a stick and carrot approach, not just a stick approach. You know, there has to be some level of guidance and support provided to the local manufacturers as well, because if they are also struggling in sourcing their raw materials, while yes, you need to keep your interests at first. But in a long run, if you don't support those local manufacturers, uh, you know, you eventually may be at a loss, in future. So find a stick and carrot approach. While performance monitoring system is a stick approach, maybe you can find a carrot approach as well to go with it as well. And again, this is a real problem, and we really appreciate that you took time and tried to identify what could be done, which is really good. So thank you so much, Mr. Usman, and really congratulate you to complete this course and use it to demonstrate something like this, which is very real. Okay, moving on to the third participant who has submitted their assignment and agreed to um, you know uh, talk about it. Now this is group number we sorry, one second. This is group number 3. I think the allocated member to discuss is Jamila. So I believe, Jamila, if you are online, if you can unmute and present what you have prepared as part of this group. Jamila? Yes, excellent. Okay, over to you, Jamila.
Nice picture. You're very good.
Please also provide context of the picture when you speak.
Okay, should I start presenting, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so the problem identified here is poor inventory management of donated items, space constraints, substandard items, expired items for forecasting by the donors. So the picture, as you can see here, there are commodities that were being donated to the central warehouse by an organization. And the supplies were being made in batches, and there wasn't any organization during the distance supplies. So at times we're even being called over the weekend to come and receive these commodities. So the there are a lot of issues concerning these commodities, as you can see. Yeah, so
Okay.
next slide, please. So this is the identification of the root cause analysis as mentioned from the problem. That's the five whys template. So asking the powerful question, the first why says, why is there an overstock item? Sorry, like it is echoing. Or you hear me
No, no, it's
clearly,
okay.
please?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, fine, thank you. So the first why says, where is there an overstock of items from the donors at the warehouse? So the reason we capture it is because the donors oversupplied the items in their procurement. So actually there wasn't any plan given to these donors, no communication to the central warehouse. The donors just decided to procure these commodities and bring them down to the central warehouse. So the second why says, where were the donors oversupplied the stock to the warehouse? The reason is they did a wrong forecasting and quantification. As I said earlier, there wasn't any communication, any consultation of supply chain experts whatsoever. Sorry, is she tampering with the templates? Because the, okay, yeah, I can see now. So the third why says, why did the donors give wrong quantification and forecasting? Because they did not consult the warehouse and inventory manager in the forecasting and quantification. So this comes to what I've been saying earlier. The fourth why asks the question, why did the donors did not consult warehouse and the inventory manager? And the reason is because the donor did not consider the forecasting and quantification in the pharmaceutical procurement as a priority. So the fifth why here asked, why were the donors not prioritizing forecasting and quantification? And the reasons we captured was because the donor do not have expertise in pharmaceutical management and warehousing. So can we move to the next slide? So the root cause analysis. For the 5 whys method we use, what is the root cause identified after dropping the 5? This lack of engaging supply chain expert in donating pharmaceutical products and also managing and warehousing. So there are lack of this expertise at the side of the donors. They lack pharmaceutical management, warehousing, focusing on communication knowledge and other things. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the decision tree matrix findings. So, sorry, can she enlarge the distance because I can't read? The slide, please. The font size are too tiny.
Yashika, can you zoom? Yeah, zoom the first part. Yes. Is it okay? Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So for the first point, 1.1, engaging the warehouse and inventory manager in forecasting and quantification. So these are what could be the potential remedial actions to this problem. So one of these is engaging the warehouse and inventory manager in forecasting and quantification, henceforth by the donors. The second point is a procurement of drugs from the right source, because some of these drugs that we showed the picture based on this practical session, they were substandard, and some of them, they have a short shelf life. Some of them are temperature dependent, but they are all brought at the same time. Yeah. The third point is conducting the right supply planning. So there should be planning sessions like quantification and forecasting exercises by these donors before embarking on procuring commodities and donating to places like what they did to us here at the central warehouse. The fourth point is effective communication and information flow between the warehouse and the donors. Like I said earlier, there were no effective communication and clear communication regarding them bringing these commodities. At times we do come out during the weekends. At times we need to engage some more staff, subcontract another staff to help us offload these commodities. We stay almost till 6 in the evening receiving these items, sorting them and other things. So there should be a kind of effective communication flow between the donors and the warehouse. The fifth point is following the operational, following the operational and regulatory guidelines. So there are operations and regulatory guidelines. We have our guidelines like the standard specifications that the agency is riding on, like regarding concerning receiving of commodities and other things. But these donors did not follow these guidelines and regulations, so they just apply anything they felt like it is okay by them. Sorry, Yashika, adjust the slide, please. So what remedial action should not be considered and what should be considered? So among those that should not be considered are receiving short-dated items from the donors, compromising the operational guidelines, and overworking the warehouse staff, as I mentioned earlier. So at the other side, we have those that, why should they not be considered? Because there is risk of expiration, because most of these items that we receive, we have a lot of them expiring as they are being stored there. So from time to time, we do sort them out and we give an update report on their situation. That's their status, they have expired. And the second point is working against the standard operational procedures. Like, we have operational procedures. We have, receiving and verification committees and other people that need to be part of the reception of these items. But unfortunately, because of the kind of supplies we get from these people, no communication and other things, it's just a minimal, like 2 or 3 people that do attend to this huge or receive these huge supplies of commodities from these donors. The third point is overworking. Work overloads may lead to error and burnouts. Honestly, we do get burnouts anytime we are receiving these items, because we do come out during the weekend, and maybe if it is working hours, we do stay for more than the scheduled time for us to stay at work. And there are a lot of errors during the reception. So now for the advantages and the disadvantages, there's the pros and the cons for each of the identified potential remedial action. For the first point that I mentioned, the advantages it has include the following. It ensures to ensure and promote adequate planning, improve accuracy in forecasting and quantification, enhances collaboration and teamwork, and also ensure proper inventory management. So for the second remedial action that we have the disadvantage for the first remedial action. So the third party involvement may increase time frame for the donation, may also increase cost of planning. There might be alteration. So for the second point, ensure drug quality, improves accessibility, ensures drug effectiveness, ensures patient trust. Then for the disadvantage, we have items might be expensive than the substandard, and they may increase lead time. Then for the third point, to ensure proper inventory management, make warehousing work easier, reduce handling costs, and prevent risks of expiration and pilferages. For the disadvantage of these points is that it might affect productivity, product availability, it might take longer time, and it may delay project targets. So for the third points, that's for the third remedial action, the advantage is that it ensures effective collaboration, ensure proper inventory management, enhances workflow, and prevent risks and errors. And the disadvantage that this point has is that information might be inaccurate or invalid, might lead to wrong conclusion, and it may delay decision-making processes. And the fifth remedial action has the following advantages. It can provide clear and consistent guidelines for the staff. It enhances accountability within the team. It ensures proper decision-making processes, and it also prevents conflict among staff. Then for the disadvantage that this remedial action has, it will require periodic review. It requires time for training and implementation. It requires frequent monitoring and supervision. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Okay.
Okay, so optimal remedial action. So for the optimal remedial action, this remedial action is the most optimal as directly address the root cause of the lack of engaging expert in supply chain of pharmaceutical management and warehousing. Participation of the warehouse and inventory managers will ensure prompt and proper learning for supply, store management, and also maintenance and the rest and other things. So this will also enhance collaboration between the warehouse staff and the donor entity. Next slide. So recommendation and next step. We recommend as a group that formal engagement of the warehouse and the inventory manager should be done by these donors, and also the warehouse inspection activity should be regularly done to ensure that this, as we are doing it, but should be regularly done to ensure that items are not, we are not losing items based on expiry and damages. So reflection and keynotes. So based on these, the biggest takeaway from this assignment is learning the different problem-solving methods with more emphasis on the 5 whys method and decision 3 as I've just presented. Also, this exercise have greatly changed the way I will be approaching, or we will be approaching, since we are presenting as a group, we will be approaching problem-solving in supply chain issues. Also, major challenges was in filling the decision 3 template before we got to understood how it directly relates to the previous step of the 5 whys mentioned in the root cause analysis. And lastly, we have learned so much out of this course, and we have gathered the right skills for our career in supply chain aspects. And we will apply these important techniques in every aspect of our work, not just supply chain related, but issues that involve problem-solving skills. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jamila. Before we comment on it, and we only have about 15 minutes left, I would like to ask anyone who wants to ask any question or have a comment for Jamila and team. Yes, Ahmed, please.
Okay, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I have some little questions on this presentation. The first one is the first slide, or the second slide, that is the slide that has the picture. Yes, this slide. The questions that I have here is the poor management of inventory of donated items. This, I would like to know whose responsibility is to ensure this proper inventory management of donated items. We know there is this issue of the pull and push supply chain system. For the inventory people, there is, I think the issue here is for them to have the requisite knowledge on how to receive and warehouse commodities whenever they have this the inflow of this product from the donors. So I would like to know whose responsibility is to ensure the poor inventory management. That is one. The second question is, the first point here, if you can address it, I think you will not end up having the remaining points. That is the space constraint, the substandard, and all the expired and the rest. So basically, this is my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed. Jamila, would you like to respond to some of them?
Sorry, Pharmacist Ahmed, can you have your second question?
Yes, so the first question is whose responsibility is to ensure poor warehouse
Yes, I'm
management?
putting that one.
Yes, so the second other thing is if we have managed this, we will not end up having the subsequent point. That is the space constraint, the substandard and all and expired items. If we have a good inventory management system, we will not be having this point.
Okay,
So,
thank you
so
very
Ms.
much,
Jamila,
Pharmacist Ahmed.
sorry to refine what Mr. Ahmed said. Basically, he's saying that in the list here of 5 points, some of them could be consequences, not symptoms, but consequences. So you might have 1 or 2 symptoms here and several consequences. And I think it's a
Okay, so
point
I
very well
understand.
taken. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So thank you for the clarification. I think maybe we are supposed to be putting only one point. That's the first point. That's poor inventory management of donated items. Then maybe this remaining point should be the consequences of this problem. So basically, to respond to what Ahmed has asked regarding the responsibility of ensuring that there is proper inventory management. So based on this, we don't have autonomy over these donors. So as we have mentioned or we have presented in this slide, you can see there is no proper communication, no proper engagement with these donors. So they do bring these items. I think initially we do, if you can carefully look at the picture, there are some pallets on the ground. So we do stock these items properly. So as time goes on, it gets out of our capacity. So the space is very tiny. That's the space that we allocate for receiving this donated item. There are a lot of items. There are a lot of partners that have their commodities from this picture. We have like 3 to 4 partners who have their commodities, and each commodity is for a different program. So as it is, this is we have tried to manage this. We have tried to manage this inventory properly, but unfortunately it gets out of our capacity, and we have reported to the top management regarding this, and we are working on it, because as it is, we have been given orders to pick some of the commodities and start distributing it. And also, to add to what I've just said, these donors that are bringing these items, they don't give us the itinerary of facilities or people that we will be donating these items to. So had it been we have the list of these people, who would have even communicate to them to come and pick it up, or maybe we'll arrange for a last mile delivery to donate to distribute these commodities to them. So these are some of the constraints or the issues that we are having that leads to this mismanagement of these items. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamila. Pierre, very quickly, I guess we only have 10 minutes left. Pierre.
Pardon, I did not have you, Mr. Sanjay.
Yeah, I think Pierre has raised his hand, so but I think his network
Okay.
is not very good.
Somebody would like to intervene, comments, and then provide more in the discussion. So, Ms. Jamila, would you, if I summarize it a different way, and I said here, the picture shows unscheduled and unwelcomed donated products. Would you agree with that? Or this is too restrictive?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No,
So
it is on schedule and on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm with you. I'm listening.
So if the
As you have
situation,
said, that in a summary,
sorry,
it is an.
go ahead. There's a time lag between when I speak and when you speak. That's the reason why. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I agree with you that you said that this is an on-schedule and on-organized delivery by the donors. So this is actually what is happening to us.
If it's the case, then the consequence is
Okay, Pierre, you're frozen
Hello?
again. Yeah, Pierre, you're frozen again.
Okay, sorry about that.
Maybe
Am I back?
let's
Yes,
let's do this discussion offline. This is an important issue, so this will take a bit more time. We only have 8 minutes left.
Sentence more.
Okay, go on.
So, and then because of unwelcome and unscheduled management, the space constraint, because it's unwelcome and unscheduled, then substandard items. And so if it's the case, then for me, the whys are different. And it goes to the root cause is probably governance, is that your central procuring and warehousing agency cannot say to a donor, I'm sorry, this was not scheduled, this was not properly organized, this was not quantified with us, you dumping things on us, and I'm sorry, this is not how it works in a country. So it goes to governance, and governance means that who's the power that could say to a donor, I'm sorry, this is my country, you cannot do whatever you want, and you need to align with our need. And the need should be quantified, and deliveries in my central warehouse should be organized in such a way that I'm able to accommodate. Over to you.
Yeah, I think there is a very simple way of looking at it. Here you have talked about governance. Sometimes governance is difficult to understand. Jamila, let me ask you very quickly. Do you have a donated items policy which is ratified by all the different donors in your state and in your country?
sorry, I can't hear you really well.
We cannot hear you well, Sanjay. You
Sorry,
almost like filtered.
something.
Yes, better.
Is it better now?
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Jamila, I'm asking you, do you have a donated items policy in your state, which is agreed or ratified by the various donors who keep on donating items to you? Do you have such policy?
Yes, we do have policies on donors supplying items to us. As it is, this some part of these donors have even contributed to upgrading of our warehouse and other things.
No. Different things. So I'm asking very specifically here because the issue here is that
supplying
you are
items.
receiving donations. So there are two types of
Product
donors.
donations.
Yeah.
Product donations.
Yes. So there are donors like USAID or Global Fund. That is a different type of donors. We don't consider them
Okay,
as
I understand.
donations. But there are other donors in this case who are donating directly items to you, which you may or may not require. So do you have a policy on those kind of product donations?
So actually, the guideline or the policy regarding donated items is that these items need to come through the DME. And here is a DME, that's the Central Medical Stores of the state. So that's why these items are coming directly to the CMS, that's the Central Medical Stores. But we do have some donors who donate directly to the facility, to the facilities that they are supporting directly. But this is the ideal way. That's the items that are being donated by, especially drugs and other medical consumables, should come through the DMA. Then the DMA should channel this in the distribution and dispatch of these items to the various facilities or beneficiaries of these donated items. But this is done based on provision of a kind of a schedule or a plan by the donor. So we haven't received either of this. That's our problem.
The reason I'm asking is because that policy. Yeah, Ilya, go on.
Okay, good afternoon. Let me chip in something to this. So some of this question, he cannot answer it. But then as she said, these are donated items, and on ideal situation, anything that has been donated to the state should come through the DMA, that is YODMA. So here, in respect to this picture, I think the only challenges we're having is lack of space. Had it been there is a sufficient space, whatsoever the case might be, these items will be arranged accordingly. But then there is lack of space, and these are donated items, and the space we are having, you can see even that picture on the first presentation is lack of space that brought about items being arranged haphazardly. But then now, as we're having, we've added another warehouse. We have 2 big warehouses. So even if items are donated, we can be able to, no matter how we can, once if we receive them, we can arrange them accordingly. Thank you very much.
Okay. Jamila, you want to say something?
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Deputy Director, Sales and Distribution. Yes, you have rightly said that we are having space constraint. But to add to this is we have some items that have overstayed here. There are some items that were being brought or supplied by these donors which have lasted for more than 2 years without any proper schedules of distribution. And we have been following up. I myself have written a letter to the focal person that they should give us a distribution plan so that we can make the distribution of these items. Because as it was, we have identified a lot of these items have got expired. So as it is, yes, there is space shortage, but still there are some problems from the side of the donating partners. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Jamila. Thank you, Ilya. I think one last thing which I would like to say is do revisit your donated items policy. There is a very high chance that your donated items policy do not take into account the problems that you have listed here. So if you add these issues into your donated items policy and then send it to all those donors that we will only accept donated items as per these points, then maybe they will also fall in line. So I will stop here. I'm sure you can revisit those issues and take a look into it. We are also here in case you want any support. We can provide support in those areas as well. We are out of time. The last part of this today's workshop was to, sorry, I'm just trying to go to those slides. Was to tell you about the next steps for getting your certificates. So as part of the agreement that we had with your executive leadership with Mr. Abdul Aziz was that while we are providing this course for free, at the end of it, before issuing the certificates, we would want honest reviews from you from the pilot cohort. So we want to organize one, written reviews. So if you can send us written reviews of your experience and learning from the course. And two, we also want to organize at minimum 5 video interviews, and video interviews generally take 5 to 10 minutes. Our objective was to do some of them today itself, but I don't think we have enough time. So what we will do is we will reach out to all of you, one for the written review and 2 for the video reviews, and please send us those as quickly as possible so that we will issue those certificates to you, or all your certificates are already prepared. We just want to finish this review analysis and getting your final reviews on the course. And after which, those certificates will be shared. We want to do it this week itself. So Yashika, please reach out to each and every one of them, organize these quick video interviews as well, and then make sure we receive all the written reviews so that we can share the certificates with each and every individual. So for the written review, these are some of the questions that are there which you can answer while you are writing these reviews, like what are the key takeaways, how has your approach in problem solving changed, and if there are certain challenges or understanding or implementing the concept, because we still want to understand how we can make this course even better. So with that, we would like to close this workshop. Again, we would like to thank you for your time and your effort in going through the course. We sincerely believe that you have learned some new methodologies of managing your work. And of course, you will get access to the program after this. And we will be available for any specific support that you may need from here on. Okay, Pierre, any last words?
No, I think that's been a pleasure. Remember the first few days we started together, and remember where we are now. Discussions is very intense. There's pros and cons. There's counter-arguing, which is part of the pathway and the framework of making reasoned and smart decisioning. So thank you very much for being part of this intellectual journey. And we hope you will leverage that immensely for our clients who are the patients. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you so much, Pierre. Mr. Elia, last words from you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sanjay, Yashika, and the other name. What's the other name? So, actually, we are very, very grateful for the time given to us, and at the same time, I want to thank the participants for committing themselves. These fights, they are tight schedules, but then they can manage time to participate on the workshop and even the exercises. And at the same time, I want to call their attention that this should be applied on real situations. We're in supply chain space, and as I said earlier, problem is inevitable. But sometimes what we used to do is just dwell or put more resources on symptoms without knowing the root cause analysis and profile lasting solution on that. So I want to urge on us to apply this on our real gambas, that is our workplace. Whenever there is a symptom, we should dig out to the problem and find out the root cause and proper solution. I think with this, we will develop our system. So once again, thank you very much. And we will keep in touch with you whenever there is a need for this. Maybe if there will be another set of people that will enroll on this, we will keep in touch and we'll be communicating from time to time. And in a situation whereby there are situations that maybe we had a problem and we want your intervention, we can equally call your attention for that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Elias.
Over.
Zainab, you've raised your hand. You have a comment or a question? Maybe we'll hear your voice as last.
Okay. I would just like to express my deepest gratitude to ES and each of you at B-Skilled for guiding us through this important course of problem solving within the supply chain. And by now we have learned how to optimize the flow of goods and services by identifying the root cause and implementing targeted solutions. We are truly grateful because your mentorship has equipped us with the skills and mindset to tackle future supply chain challenges. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Zainab, and everyone else for your time and dedication throughout this course. We sincerely hope that you will not shy away from writing to us as part of the reviews as we reach out to you. And hopefully at least 5 or 6 of you would give us 5 to 10 minutes for a video interview as well. So thank you so much. And Yashika will be in touch. We hope that you will use this opportunity and your certification to do much good in your own states and your national supply chains. So thank you again, and we will keep in touch, and we'll get back to you with your certificates very soon. All right. Thanks, Pierre. Thanks Yashika.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Bye.
Thank you, all of you.
Have a
good luck.
week. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.